much sauce. Protect Philippe, the plain one. That's too much sauce. Hermes in the aim. That's too much sauce. They let me know before I was famous. I had too much sauce.
William Shakespeare, one of the most iconic poets ever, a writer of the most used stories in the cinematic world today. Any movie or TV show plot most likely has roots from one of Shakespeare's plays. Join me as we delve deep into his life and examine some of his works. Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564 in Stamford-on-Avon. He coincidentally died on the same day in the year 1616. He was the son of John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. He was educated at the King Edward VI Grammar School in Stratford. He was thoroughly educated in Greek and Latin. He married his wife, Anne Hathaway, when he was only 18 and she was 26. They were happily married. Do thou, Anne Hathaway, take William Shakespeare to be thy lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
And do thou, William Shakespeare, take Anne Hathaway to be thy lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
You may now kiss the bride.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Shakespeare and his wife had a happy family with 2 daughters, Susanna and Judith. Sadly, Judith's twin brother died in boyhood. Even though Shakespeare has a multitude of plays, he didn't do much during 1585 and 1592. Very little of his activities are known during this time. This was due to the closing of London theaters because of the plague.
To be or not to be, woe is misery, for misery is woe. I am the lost soul.
During 1606 and 1611, Shakespeare composed a lot of plays. He worked extremely hard and made some of his most known plays, such as Antony and Cleopatra, which he composed in 1606, Timon of Athens in 1607, Pericles in 1607, Coriolanus composed in 1608. He also wrote Winter's Tale in 1611 and also The Tempest. After 1592, Shakespeare's rise to fame was very impressive. He wrote Henry VI, Part 1. This single play put him in the spotlight of London's theatrical map. He gained attention from Robert Greene, an established playwright, who called him an upstart crow. He was often called up by King James to perform. The king enjoyed Shakespeare's ability to create an interesting story.
Good evening, Your Majesty. May I present you this call?
Yes, you may commence.
Thank you, Your Majesty. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose may never die. But as the river should be, time decrease. The center bear his memory, but though contracted to find out brines, feed a slight flame without central fuel.
Tell my wife she can have my second best bed.
Welcome to Historian Channel. Today we have Dave Carew, an expert on William Shakespeare. Dave, if you don't mind, we have a few questions for you today about Shakespeare and his life. How did Shakespeare's life affect his literature?
Well, Patrick, his family was a very respectable family and influenced him to write in many ways, such as sending him to grammar school where he learned Latin and got better at writing. And this provided him a better vocabulary and taught him how to write very, very well.
Well, thank you for that answer, John. Next question. Do you think the poem, 7 Ages of Man, was directed to a certain audience?
No, I don't. This was directed to the world in general. Most of his plays and sonnets had to do with the inevitable decay of time. I think this was one of them.
Good answer, John. Last question. What stage do you think Shakespeare was at during the writing of this poem? Do you think it affected the writing and the tone of this poem in any way?
Well, Patrick, it was written in 1599, so he was 40 years old. He was at the stage of justice. I think that it did influence his writing and tone, because he is inching nearer to the pantaloon stage, which is evidently the stage he despises the most.
Thank you. That was an interesting answer, John. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time on the History Channel.